you're saying. I completely get it. But my point is, before those children even were killed, before that even happened, all those lives that were taken that day for that Dark Knight movie, that should have been enough that they thought, hey, maybe our children can be taken. Hey, maybe something else bad can happen. If it happens in the same motherfucking year, they should have dealt with that from before. You don't wait until children die for you to finally be like, oh, okay, let me wake up, because guess what?
None of those guns were legal. So it wasn't like people who are going through the process and getting the guns correctly.
But my point is that they don't have extremely good gun control, period. And
but
beyond just it being legal.
But the people who use the guns didn't get it legally anyway. So what process does it have to be in?
You can do whatever you want.
I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that there should be gun control, period.
Why punish the people who got it done the correct way?
Because their kids are going out and killing people, i.e. the guy who killed the kids. Like,
it was his mother's gun. It was his mother's gun. And it was his mother's gun. We weren't even arguing that point, but it was his mother's gun.
It was still stolen.
But what she had legally in her house in a place that was acceptable to her teenage, clearly unstable child.
No, absolutely. Now that was wrong. You don't leave a gun on the kitchen table.
Like, there's no fault. So then she go to jail. Okay, so that's her fault.
She should.
Oh, I guarantee you, if she was alive, she would be going to jail.
She definitely has negligence. I agree with you. She definitely has negligence. But people who do it correctly and have safes and they do it the correct way, they should.
Because we live and grew up in New York. This is why you're saying what you're saying towards gun control. All right? True. Because we are here, so you don't understand the other side of America. All right.
Yes, correct.
And furthermore, blaming this all on mental illness then puts everyone that has any sort of mental disability in that box as though, oh, you could be a fucking murderer. There's a lot of people that have Asperger's syndrome. They don't go out and shoot people. It's just this one person. Amen. There's some evil motherfuckers out there. Amen. You have to accept that fact. Don't blame his illness. Don't blame his mother. Don't blame... It's that motherfucker.
No, listen,
this is what it is. This is what it is. There is no easy resolution.
I think that's where the word starts.
But yo, it doesn't matter fact. Illegal or legal guns, it doesn't even matter. Because if he would have had a legal gun, he would still did it.
Grab from different pots in order to control it. It's one, having more liability to people that actually get legal guns. To the point where, okay, someone steals your gun, fucking use it in a crime, you're gonna be punished in some sort of way in the law. You just can't be like, oh, my gun was stolen, I ain't got nothing to do with it. No, you're supposed to lock your gun up and everything like that. If you have
gun locks are cheap. You can buy
gun lock And secondly, if you know you have, I'm not gonna blame all mental illness because not everyone's gonna do the same thing. But if you know, or you know the person that's living in your home has some sort of
mental illness.
They're withdrawn. I'll say. I'm not gonna call it mental illness because
withdrawn's a better way to say it.
Withdrawn from society to the point where it's like, I'm on my own. I don't really give a fuck with anybody else.
Mental illness. That's what it is. Right. Regardless of if you want to call it, that it's still mental illness. I mean,
you can be social and still be psycho.
Exactly.
American psycho.
Exactly. That nigga was living up, had a great job, fucking had a little girlfriend, killing bugs and shit.
Gun control is not going to solve the problem. A lot more has to be done. Way more.
But don't you think part of gun control is all the things that you mentioned? Don't you think that should be a part of it?
But it should be state to state.
See, once again, Hippocratic oath. The doctors aren't going to want to come forward and say, oh, this person has a mental illness, that person has a mental illness.
But don't you
because
think
then
in those cases
that information is just out there then, and then people can use that to discriminate against people in different ways.
Oh, shit.
So that's why this is what they fought against putting it out there. This is the problem with having those checks and balances
because there's always going to be a few people who their liberties are either being overly used.
Focusing on the victims, they want to go delve into his life, why did he do this? That, and the third. Yeah, it becomes a fascination. You want to do his background. You want to talk about his moms, his dad, his mom and dad got divorced. Like
the news is completely driven by advertisers. That's number one. They're completely being competitive, and if they're being competitive, and their competitors are, you know, sensationalized shows like CSI, where you get to delve into this person's life and you get to figure out these things. People then look to the news expecting to get the same thing. Now you're delving into this and completely ignoring the fact that let's focus on the real crime that's being here. Let's focus on solving these crimes. Let's focus on the politicians who should be.
I forget the name of the celebrity who spoke on this, but he was basically saying that one of the reasons why we keep having these copycats is because, like you said, their name is being glorified. They're feeding off of the attention. Everyone remembers the name of the shooter, but can you name one victim? And that was the main point that this person was bringing up in the article. We could all remember the name of and that's the problem. There's too many victims. There's like 26 victims in one shooter. But part of it is you kind of nullify the whole excitement that the shooter gets off of the attention. And it's kind of like, okay, if you just focus on the victims' families and what they're going through and how this has been such a detriment to their community, their household, etc., and just kind of acknowledge like this is the shooter and stop repeating his name and repeating his history.
But you know what the problem with that is? That's not going to get ratings. No one's going to want to sit there and watch the news and be depressed and be sad. You want to know why they did it. You want that like, that little spice of it. Nobody wants to sit there and cry for fucking 24 hours about the same little girl with the cute little pigtails and the bright blue eyes. Nobody wants to fucking sit there and deal with that. Instead, they want to look at the darkness. They want to look at, you know what? Why'd they do it? Blah, blah. Everything has to be a fucking scandal rather than focusing on the more important things that are going on, like the fucking fact that these people have lost their kids.
But let me channel my man Lex for 1 second. And look, I'm gonna look into the motherfucking camera and actually say this. For all you people sitting out there that be like, maybe I should go shoot up a school because I'm living infamy. Guess what? Ain't no pussy when you dead, nigga.